Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is a bushcraft style hammock overnighter in the forest. It is late in the day, it is cloudy, it is getting dark, and it looks like it's gonna rain. I did not bring any camp stoves with me at all. The only source of heat and cooking that I have is to make a fire. So I got to get all this stuff packed up and get on that fire making process before all the wood gets rained on and soaking wet. It is forecasted to get into the negative temperatures later this night and into the early morning. So fire is going to be a priority, as well as getting this down sleeping bag out of here and lofted up and nice and dry. I've got a new hammock with an underquilt system, very nice and open, very spacious. So sleeping in this tonight is going to be absolutely comfortable. So let's get some of this stuff squared away, some of this clicked onto the hammock so we don't lose it, and get started on collecting wood and light a campfire. Alright guys, I've got my cup of hot coffee on the go right now. The sun is dipping behind the tree line through the forest, so it is going to start getting dark out here rather soon. And I gotta say, this hammock is absolutely comfortable. So this is a new hammock. As you guys can see, there is a spreader bar at the head end of this hammock. It's actually shaped like a triangle. So this is a semi-bridge hammock is what I'm going to call it. And it's actually working really, really well. It spreads the shoulders out really nice with that spreader pole up there, giving you really nice flat lay with your shoulders, nice roomy. I like to move around a little bit, so I don't like my shoulders cramped up. And having the underquilt underneath obviously is going to keep me very warm, but we'll also show you, once I'm laying in here, I'll show you this now because it's going to be dark later on. Once I scooch up in here, where I want to be comfortable, keep in mind, I'm not in my sleeping bag yet. But once I'm in here, this is incredibly comfortable. Do you guys remember Rusty? There goes Boomer after him. So I'm back where Rusty lives. If new viewers don't know who Rusty is, go way back, and some of you longtime viewers, go ahead and fill everybody in on who Rusty is. But back to the hammock. This is awesome. Awesome. My feet are not cramped. I've got loads of shoulder room up here. I can move all the way up if I want to be up in the shoulder area. I can move down. The spreader bar is really nice for hanging a backpack or other bags off of. Really awesome. The underquilt, I can store all kinds of snacks in here if I want to, as long as it's not too heavy. Yes, I actually put snacks in my underquilt. I'm guilty for that. Granola bars, wintertime, freezing. Put them in your underquilt. They don't freeze. They stay nice and warm. I don't recommend doing it if you're wary about animals, but I do it often. And yes, I have had coyotes come up and sniff my butt from underneath, going for my granola bars. Never a problem. But this hammock, I'm actually digging this. So there is no bug net on here today. You can add one. I did not need to. Obviously, there's no mosquitoes out. It's cold. And yeah, lounging in my bridge hammock. This is awesome. It makes such a good chair to just lounge in. So this is from One Wind. I will mention that. I will also mention that the way I strung this hammock uses the extension Dyneema cables, basically. But I've seen a lot of people do it really silly-like and complaining that there's no daisy chain hook to like raise or lower the hammock. I just use a piece of wood toggle. I toggle it just like I always have for many years hammock camping, and then cinch in that whoopee sling. Works great. So 2 wood toggles at either end, support my body weight, no problem. And I can already tell sitting in here, it's going to be a very warm night. This underquilt is actually warming my butt quite a bit. And this is a rectangular underquilt. I will mention that it does fit a regular hammock. I've just cinched in the foot box area and left the head end wide open and put that center strap right there, right where my back is. This stays nice and firm like a drum. So it actually creates that nice little air gap underneath so the underquilt can warm up. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee for a few moments. Like I said, it's getting dark out here, and I do have some steak that I want to cook over that fire in the daylight. I do have a headlamp and my light that I'm going to actually hang up underneath of my tarp here. But right now, I want to enjoy coffee somewhat. I love that smell. You get charcoal on your fingers and on your cup, and the campfire and the charcoal and the coffee. Just something about it. It smells good. But I want to I'm going to drink this up, and then I'm going to cook so I can eat up quickly before darkness. So cheers guys, let's enjoy this coffee and get that fire ripped in and get some steak cooking. All right, guys, Boomer is on the absolute rampage right now. Gone off that way somewheres, chasing what I think is Rusty. I don't know. He's come pretty close. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, Rusty is a squirrel. Many years ago, I camped right here, and the squirrel slept in my tent with me, with a hot tent, sat on my boot, on my foot, with my foot in my boot. Tried bumming for oatmeal the next morning, like literally shacked up with me. Now this is before I had Boomer, and yeah, he's been here ever since. I also ate steak with Rusty. Coincidentally, I'm cooking steak outdoors again, and when I say I ate steak with a squirrel, I legitimately mean I ate steak here eating steak, and picture Boomer is Rusty, and he was just here eating a pine cone. And I'm just doing my thing, he's doing his thing, totally minding our own business. I'll put the link down in the description if I remember to those videos. Hilarious, I highly recommend checking them out. So Boomer is bouncing around here. That squirrel's getting really close, so that's why I think it's Rusty. So this steak is going to be for me only. And the reason I say that is because I put a lot of really spicy jerk seasoning on here. So this is going to be way too spicy for Boomer. Now I will say, Boomer did have some beef jerky, and he's got all kinds of treats later on. So he will be getting treats, trust me. But he cannot have this. This will definitely not do him any good. So I'm gonna let that cook up just a little bit, let that outer char up. I do have a new knife with me as well. I'll give you guys a shot of this really close. BPS Knives has been very, very, very good to me. And actually they sent me this knife, the main knife that I'm using, and two other knives. They personalized this knife for me with my logo. A little Lone Wolf 902 logo on it. I wanted a really small kitchen knife, something really sharp and nimble for cooking and, you know, processing stuff. So they sent me 3 of these. I'm going to be doing a giveaway for 2 of them to you guys and girls out there, to viewers. I don't know how I'm going to do the giveaway yet, but stay tuned. I will be doing it, but they're personalized. Lone Wolf 902 laser etched inside. I'll give you guys a close-up of this, but my first time using it, so I'm really, really stoked. Beautiful leather sheath to go with it, and yeah, pretty awesome. So BPS Knives, new knife. Thank you very much. And like I said, stay tuned for that giveaway. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I'll do something fun. But right now, I'm going to get the steak finished up, kick back and relax and enjoy the night forest. Alright guys, gonna give this steak a little cut. Whew, that's razor sharp. Oh yeah, I think we're ready to go. So I'm gonna let this rest on my cutting board. Ah, it's beautiful. That cleaned off. Let that rest on the cutting board for a moment, and we'll get this fire ripped and back up here. Get this hot grate out of the way without touching it with my bare fingers. I'm going to put it in the fire actually just for a second because I want to burn some of that sauce off. If you guys remember a couple videos back where I burned myself horribly, that is the grate. And yes, oh, inhale smoke. And yes, I am still sporting a Band-Aid from when I hacked the end of my thumb almost clean off about 4 days ago in the last video. So pretty prone to injuries lately, I gotta say. But you know, that's just part of the game. So burn off some of that jerk seasoning and beef and all that nastiness that I don't want to pack back in my backpack when I put that grate back in there. I'm going to okay. Do not inhale jerk seasoning. Oh, that is horrendous. The flavor is great. The spice is not good in the lungs. Holy. Alright. Now that I just burned my esophagus, I'm going to get this fire ripping again here and throw that grate on top of it, and that'll help burn off all of that seasoning and sauce. And I'll let that fire build. Get that back on there. That way it's nice and clean for when it goes back in my backpack. And I won't have to worry about animals sniffing around for it. Not that any animals would want to eat that jerk seasoning, I don't think. I'm pretty sure if they did, it'd be the last time they came around anybody's camp. So probably not a bad thing. All right, let's give this, well, the knife absolutely razor sharp. I will say that. It smells incredible. Oh yeah. All right, so got that cut, and I'm just gonna go right in with the fingers. We don't need a fork. Get some of that jerk seasoning. Oh. Mmm. Wow. Oh, oh. Mmm. Had jerk chicken a lot. I don't think I've ever had jerk beef. Wow. Might be a new favorite. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Woo, got a kick. Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Whew. Man. Mm. Mm-hmm. Boomer wants some of this so bad. He just licked the edge of the cutting board. He did not like that. He did not like that, I tell you. I'm loving it. It is definitely hot. This would be really, really good. Cooked and then thinly sliced and put in like a pita wrap or like a naan bread with like blue cheese dip and some spinach. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm going to finish up eating the steak. I know a lot of people are probably going to... Gonna move out of that smoke. A lot of people are probably going to say, geez, that's a lot of footage of watching you eat. But a lot of people, surprisingly, really enjoy it. I don't know why. They just do. Mm. All right, guys, I've got my backpack and a bunch of cooking stuff packed away, set aside for the evening. There are actually droplets falling from the sky right now. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I can see it and I can feel it on the back of my hand. So it is actually very, very lightly raining right now, which is interesting because if it does dip below freezing, this might actually be the very first snowfall in my area this year. Fingers crossed. That would be awesome. Very, very happy if that happened. So supper was good. My lips are still burning. Jerk beef. 2 thumbs up from this guy. That was awesome. So got one more mouthful in my brew here. I've got one more log from that firewood that I cut up. Very dense softwood, I will say. The rings are very, very tight on this piece of softwood. So I've loaded a couple pieces in there. Boomer's just finishing up his dog food right now. He did have a little bit of pepperoni sticks and beef jerky and a couple other treats here and there. So he's definitely got enough snacks. He is going to love that hammock later on. He's balled up on my sweater on the ground over there just a moment ago, just itching to get in the hammock, and he loves hammock camping, so this will be interesting, him in there for the first time. Should be fun. So I've got the grill all burned off of any food residue. I boiled up a little bit of hot water and rinsed off my cutting board. This is going to stay out here for the evening over here just in case any animals do come in. They'll come over here and not towards my backpack. What I anticipate happening this evening is most likely porcupines, coyote, or squirrels. That's about it. Bears usually don't bother me, and if they do come into camp, they usually look, kind of stare at me, and then wander away. Bears aren't usually a problem. Coyotes, foxes, raccoons are horrible. Coyotes and foxes are usually pretty curious, but the raccoons are horrible, and the gray squirrels are horrible. The big squirrels, those guys are nasty. So, like I said, the temperature is starting to come down a little bit, and it's still raining very lightly. Got one more piece of firewood. I've got this long piece over here too, but I think I'm going to save this for morning because I do have to light a fire for coffee and to warm up. So I'm going to save that. I'll probably save this one for morning too, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. There's plenty of wood on here. This will burn for probably another hour. And yeah, it'll be hammock time shortly after that. So cheers, guys. Supper was good. Let's enjoy the campfire before we jump in the hammock for the night. All right, I don't know if the microphone's picking that up. It is now raining, actual rain. I'm not sure if it's a cloud passing over because I did just see the moon a moment ago, but it is raining. I've got to say, I absolutely love open hammock camping when it's either snowing, big massive snowflakes, or when it's raining and they've got a beautiful bug-free zone with a tarp set up just like this. Love it. Oh, that's gonna be so nice to relax too, if it actually keeps up. So the campfire's still burning right now. I basically ready to crawl in here. So run you guys through how this looks and how this works. So first of all, get my boots off this time and show you the workings of this, because this is really comfortable. It's so simple, so small and packable, but yet it works really well. So getting chilly out. I'm going to take my headlamp. There is a pocket right here on the back side behind my head. If I could get my headlamp in that pocket. Alright, so I've got my sweater, my heavy sweater up here, draping that over that spreader bar because when I lay down I want to use that as a pillow. So I'm just going to kick my boots off here. Boomer's still on the ground. He's still got to come up in here. Boomer, come on. Up. Up. Come on. Come. Come on. Up. Come. Oh, there you go. All right. So. Oh, this is awesome. Super comfortable. So, Boomer typically sleeps in my sleeping bag with me. Now, we're in a hammock, so we do not need the sleeping bag under us. What I'm going to do is unzip it and just use it like a top quilt. Basically just like this. I was going to bring a top quilt, but I was a little weary about how warm this underquilt was going to be. It's actually, hello, it's actually very warm. So I do not have any problem with warmth underneath of me right now. And I was actually thinking about bringing an inflatable sleeping pad or like a foil, kind of like a Mylar thermarest pad, and putting that, a closed cell foam pad, inside or in between the underquilt and the hammock. I don't think I need to. I'm actually glad I didn't. I'm super comfortable. This is nice. So if I move way up here towards the head end, Boomer has no idea what to think. Here, bud. So he's having hurricane flashbacks. Oh, there he goes. So if you guys saw my hurricane hammock camping video, pretty wild. No, he's not traumatized. Yes, he loved it. Yes, he still goes hammock camping. He goes on my chest, on my ATV, on my electric scooter, on my fat bike, on my dirt bike, side by side. This dog has been through it all. He loves it. He is not traumatized. He actually enjoys it quite a bit. As you guys can clearly see, he's a trooper. Let's get in the middle here. So this is really nice. Moving up towards the head end, I could feel like you could really move around inside this hammock and find a good pivot point, just like the Hammock Drummer 5.0 hammock. You can move forward or back to kind of tip it. This, opposite, you can move side to kind of tip it a little bit. Now, I did wrap the straps around the tree, so the hanging point of the hammock, the center of the tree is here. The hanging of the hammock is not here. It's actually off-centered. So that kind of wants to twist the hammock a little bit, just because I thought the strap was going to be short. I could straighten it. I'm not going to bother right now. This is actually really nice. I can lay on my side, and I actually think I could probably almost lay on my stomach. Like that right there. Okay. This is going to be good. I'm happy. So, I'm going to wrap it up for the night. The rain is still tapping on the tarp very lightly. This is extremely comfortable. Extremely comfortable. So I'm going to wrap it up for the night. Get the campfire still going. So that campfire is going to burn out. I'll try to see over top of Boomer and see where the camera is. Wrap it up for the night. See you guys in the morning for some hot coffee. I will let you know how this works out if it does rain. I do have drip lines set up on the either end, the foot end and the head end of the hammock, and also on my tarp. So if it does rain, no water's going to come down the ridge line. It'll just drip down onto the ground. And yeah, if anything goes bump in the night, I'll let you guys know. Till then, I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night, guys. All right, guys, been in the hammock for probably, I don't know, about 40 minutes. And it is raining off and on, quite heavy actually. Right now it's starting to lighten up. Awesome, just ducked out underneath the tarp there for a minute to get some footage outside. It is pouring off and on. I don't know if you guys can see my breath. It's actually starting to turn to sleet and snow. So hopefully, within a few moments, we'll get some snowflakes. I'll keep you guys posted if anything else happens. Gonna kick back and enjoy this rain. Good morning, everybody. It is a windy and cold morning out here today. The fire definitely helping. The tarp still has frozen rain droplets on it from last night, and that's elevated in the wind. So realistically, if the tarp is still wet enough to freeze, imagine what the ground is like. All this firewood out here is soaking wet. As you guys can see, lighting a fire, having those skills is not a problem today, luckily. And I always preach that everybody should learn how to light fire. At least learn how to light fire before going into the outdoors. It's crazy to think how our world has strayed so far away from elemental skills, from very, very simple skills that can save your life. Lighting a fire. We do all kinds of things. We play on our phones, we program, we build, but there's so many people in the world that just cannot light a fire. That is the reason why I choose to bring flint and steel, or a fire steel, or some other infinite method of lighting fire other than matches or a lighter, which are consumables, can get wet, can get, damaged, or just used up. With a flint and steel and a fire steel, it works when it's wet, when it's damp, when it's freezing. It just works. So having those skills on a day like this where it's windy and wet and cold, be able to wake up and gather wet and damp materials and still light a fire within 5 minutes, absolutely awesome. So this hot coffee today is definitely hitting the spot, I tell ya. It got windy last night, it poured with rain, and then the temperatures just plummeted, and the rain turned to freezing ice pellets, and then it stopped. And that brisk, cold winter air just whisking through here froze a lot of things. A lot of this wood on the outside is actually still frozen when I snapped it. So, gonna enjoy this and warm up a little bit more. I'm definitely glad I brought the wool sweater, because sitting close to the campfire getting showered with ashes is not a problem. So cheers, guys. Hot coffee, you can see that just steaming in the air today. Beautiful. All right, so last night the winds did kick up quite a bit. Realistically, I could have pitched my tarp and my hammock much closer to the ground. Batten down the hatches in storm mode blocked a lot of that wind out. However, this underquilt and the down bag did actually keep me warm all night long. So much that I actually took both of my sweaters off. I took my black Fjallraven and I draped that over top of my legs just to give a little bit of a foot box area, a little bit more warmth. And my other sweater was basically my pillow, snuggled up, put that sleeping bag wrapped around me just like a top quilt realistically. And that blocked out all the wind. If I were to stay here another day, for example today with this kind of wind, I would definitely drop the tarp down just to block out any kind of wind that would be affecting me all day and all night. It is cloudy, it is moody out here today, and it's still cold. It is forecasted to warm up, but right now it's still cold, so who knows what's gonna happen. But I gotta say, the hammock was absolutely comfortable. I was rocked to sleep like a boat on the ocean, just swaying back and forth. It was nothing like my hurricane camp, I'll tell you that, but I was reminded of that for sure. So, gonna enjoy my hot coffee, wait for that fire to kick back up. As soon as it does, I'm gonna take my butt, park it right next to that fire and warm up. All right, guys, we've got everything packed up inside the backpack. Boomer is itching to go. He's trying to chase after the squirrel, which is right behind the camera, so I'm trying to keep him at bay right now. It is starting to spit with rain, so I don't know what's gonna happen today. It is kind of warming up. The wind's still here, but it is starting to spit with rain, so I do gotta get moving. Everything is in the pack. If you guys are wondering how I pack my bags, go back to some more of the recent uploads. I do real-time uncut pack-ups of full setups and explain how everything gets in there. Still got people asking how everything gets in the bag, so I'm not going to bother showing you realistically a whole lot more in the future. Just go back to the previous videos and have a look for yourself. Everything went really well this trip, I will say, and I'm ready to get out of here. It's getting windy, it's getting a little brisk, and it's starting to rain. So, campfire is extinguished, bags packed up, ready to go. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace out.